That pistol you have is a SOCOM. It's a .45 caliber offensive handgun designed for the American Special Ops Command. With 12 rounds of .45 ACPs, it has outstanding stopping power. The SOCOM has a minimum service life, averaging over 6,000 rounds, and has a 5-round group capacity that extends within a 1.4-inch radius. It's a bit large, but the SOCOM is a gun you can trust. It also comes equipped with a laser aiming module. A suppressor can be attached to the SOCOM to silence gunshots. You should try to find one. Your SOCOM's got a suppressor. The suppressor uses multiple partitions to reduce gas discharge and keep sound and muzzle fire to a minimum. By keeping the internal baffles moist, sound can be reduced by approximately 38 decibels. That suppressor can be screwed and secured to 10 different positions. This function allows you to adjust the gun's impact point, but that doesn't really matter. That's because the suppressor's already been adjusted. You should be able to get the same results you got when you didn't have a suppressor attached. This'll reduce your chances of discovery, as long as you don't leave too many bodies around. Your ammo is also limited, so don't go shooting everything in sight. The cardboard box that you have is ideal for fooling your enemies. It's a very important tool for infiltration missions.
Really?
Of course. I can't begin to count the number of agents whose lives were saved by a cardboard box.
You mean everyone's using them?
Look, I'm not exaggerating when I say the success of your mission hinges on how you use that cardboard box.
Huh.
But in the end, a cardboard box is only made of paper. Handle it with care or it won't be of much use to you. You know, I've lost a couple thanks to you.
What?
Nothing. Forget it. Treat your cardboard box with care. Take care of the box, and it'll take care of you. Don't think of it as just another box. Treat it with love. Don't be rough, okay? That's a tranquilizer gun with a sound suppressor. Hit an enemy with that, and it's good night, sleep tight. The time in which the tranquilizer takes effect depends on where you hit your target. If you want to knock somebody out with a single shot, aim carefully for vital spots like the head or heart.
I think I've seen this modified gun before.
Yeah, it looks like the same gun used by Solid Snake 2 years ago. Following that terrorist incident, similar models were made and sold among the fans of his exploits. I think that's one of them. That's an American military M9 modified for tranquilizer bullets. When the tranquilizer bullets hit a target, the round uses the force of the impact to mix the drug, also producing a gas in the process. The pressure of the gas drives a built-in piston that injects the target with a powerful anesthetic. It's like firing a small hypodermic syringe. This M9 is a tranquilizer gun that knocks out the enemy. It doesn't kill them. You're holding a Chaff Grenade, an electronic warfare weapon designed to disrupt electronic equipment and jam transmissions. Detonated with a small charge, the grenade releases chaff and a miniature active jammer. The grenade should render electronic equipment useless for a brief period of time. It's important to note that radar and other equipment which you might have on hand will also be affected. So be careful with the thing if you're using electronic devices. A stun grenade, huh? It's a non-lethal weapon designed to daze enemies with a blinding flash of light and an ear-splitting bang. When it goes off, it emits a flash equivalent to 2.5 million candelas and an explosive sound of over 160 decibels. In simpler terms, that's over 120 times the brightness of a police flashlight and the sound of a jet during takeoff. At the same time, it releases about 2,700 degrees Celsius of heat. But that's only at the millisecond level, so don't expect it to ignite anything. The sound emission is also at the millisecond level, so there's no permanent damage to the victim's hearing. Used properly, your enemies will lose consciousness. It's not a lethal weapon. What you've got there is an empty magazine for handguns and automatic weapons. Press the weapon button for the wind-up and release the button to throw it. Hitting an enemy with it won't do much damage, but if used properly, it will provide a distraction. Throwing distance depends on how strong you press the weapon button. It might be even more useful if you can accurately throw the magazine to a desired spot while in first-person view. The coolant spray that you have is great for freezing the C4 set by Fat Man. After you equip the spray, you can discharge the coolant by pressing the weapon button. When the coolant is exposed to the open air, it changes into a gel and adheres to the C4 and stays at a low temperature. Spray a lot of coolant to cover the C4 and make sure that it won't melt away. This means that once you coat the C4 with this stuff, you can assume it won't explode. You've got enough there so you don't have to worry about running out. It's important to remember that once you equip yourself with the spray, you won't be able to move. If an enemy approaches while you're spraying the coolant, the best thing to do is put it away and hide. On top of dealing with the C4, you can use the spray against an enemy. Don't forget that. The coolant spray can be a weapon as well. Spray it into an enemy's face and you won't be able to see for a while. Necessity is the mother of invention. Keep improvising if you want to stay alive. I see you have the bandage equipped. Whenever you're bleeding, select the bandage in the menu display and press the confirmation button to stop the bleeding. The bandage is an absorption pad made from alginate fiber. As you probably know, when alginate fibers come into contact with blood or liquids, the colloid gels to produce a moist condition for speeding up the healing process. With outstanding absorption properties in terms of speed and capacity, bandages effectively stop bleeding. You have the Pentazemin equipped, huh? To steady your hands when aiming with a sniper rifle, select Pentazemin in the menu display and press the confirmation button. Pentazemin is a benzodiazepine antidepressant used in the treatment of disorders such as depression and autonomic imbalance. In addition to its calming effect, it also relaxes muscular tension and combats convulsions. The result is a steady set of hands. One more thing, Pentazemin does not prevent seasickness.
Seasickness? What are you talking about?
I mean, sometimes faith can overcome medical science.
What?
Never mind.
You've acquired some ration. Good. This is a portable field food source that can be consumed to recover life. Select the ration in your window and push the Enter button. You can use it on the spot and regain some life. If you have it selected, you can automatically consume the ration the moment your life runs out and avoid death. Rations not only provide nutrition, they also stimulate the immune system and lessen psychological stress.
Not exactly gourmet, though, is it?
Stop complaining, Raiden.
Hang in there, Jack. When the mission is over, I'll make you my specialty.
Yeah, right. No, nothing. Can't wait.
You've got rations. Rations are military food provisions capable of life recovery. Select a ration in the menu display and press the confirmation button for life recovery. If you equip yourself with rations, you can automatically recover life the moment it hits 0. Field rations are not just emergency food. For a soldier, it's a vital factor in maintaining combat efficiency. Rations are the result of concentrated research and development efforts on the part of the U.S. military's cooking laboratory. Together with calories, meticulous attention is focused on balanced nutrition. Freeze-dried, the rations are easy to carry and keep well. It ain't home cooking, but it'll satisfy your nutritional needs. What's on your mind?
Well, just between you and me,
Sure. What is it?
I prefer rations over Rose's home cooking.
That bad, huh? That pair of binoculars is a high-end military model with autofocus and zoom features. The binoculars will be particularly useful when used outside the big shell. If you can spot an enemy in the distance at an early stage, it'll give you plenty of time to do something. Scouting out the location of your enemy is vital to the success of an infiltration mission. Those thermal goggles provide night vision by creating images from heat distribution. The goggles have a resolution of over 400,000 pixels, and their equivalent noise thermal differential is under 0.05 degrees Celsius. This performance is largely attributed to the use of a two-dimensional solid projection system with outstanding electric charge transfer capability. With these goggles, you can probably see Claymore mines that are rendered invisible with stealth camouflage. If you look around the necks of enemy soldiers, you can probably make out their dog tags. I see the old man set you up with a Sensor A unit. Aside from C4, explosives continually release their own specific particles. Based on ion mobility spectrometry technology, Sensor A is capable of detecting particle clusters. Simply put, the detector can sniff out C4. The detected C4 appears on radar as a cloud-like shape. The cloud indicates the rough location of the explosive. This sensor looks like it's been specially tuned. It's been specially modified to sniff out the signature odor of C4, combined with Fat Man's special perfume that he uses to identify his work. That's why it won't respond to any of the C4 that we've set up. You're using your anti-personnel sensor. It vibrates whenever an enemy is approaching your position. The sensor responds to the electromagnetic field and heartbeat of life forms. The closer an enemy, the bigger the vibration. It's a useful device, but remember that if you're equipped with the sensor, you won't be able to feel any other vibrations around you. It's like life. You gain something only to lose something else. It's up to you to decide where and when you want to use it. I see you've still got those cigarettes I gave you.
I quit a long time ago.
Maybe now's the time to start again. Just joking, kid. Those things will stunt your growth and ruin your health. But in the battlefield, you'll find there's other uses for those cigarettes besides smoking. I'm sure you'll figure out how to use them when the time comes. That mine detector that you're equipped with displays the location of Claymore mines that aren't visible to the naked eye. It's not your run-of-the-mill mine detector. It's the latest model to use the technology developed in a private MU chem lab. It isn't a metal detector. It's based more on the various systems used in chemical detectors. In short, it doesn't respond to a mine's metallic casing. It actually detects the elements used in explosives. Basically, it's similar to the sensor that the old man gave you, the one that responds to the smell of C4. That's why you can accurately detect the location of mines, despite the fact that you're in a metal-based structure. That's a Claymore mine. The Claymore is a directional mine that can be set up on the ground. It's mainly used for ambush or defense. It can also be used against light vehicles and other soft-skinned targets. This mine goes off when it detects someone approaching from the front. The explosion fans out shrapnel and metal balls to create a fan-shaped destructive zone. An important thing to remember is that the sensor is not selective. The mine will attack friend or foe. What I'm trying to say is, don't trigger your own trap. You can recover a set Claymore by crawling up to it carefully. That means you can collect enemy Claymores for your own use if necessary. Raiden, what have you got there?
Nothing.
Ah, come on. Don't play dumb. That kind of thinking might even be helpful on the battlefield.
Yeah, but...
Look, aside from its educational value, you can probably use it to distract an enemy. You're using Sensor B. It's designed to pick out the odorless C4 set up by Fat Man. Unlike Sensor A, which detects explosive particles, this unit detects the explosive inside an object sealed by neutron emission. The sensor should be able to detect C4, despite the fact that it's been securely sealed to prevent odor, or more specifically, the diffusion of explosive particles. When neutrons pass through an object, the hydrogen material it contains interacts to produce a rear diffusion. By measuring this rear diffusion with the detector, the resulting value is analyzed to determine the existence of an explosive. Simply equipping yourself with this unit and the sensor will automatically scan the area around you and will sound a warning if there's an explosive nearby. Always remember that the shorter the intervals between the warning sound, the closer the location of the bomb. This sensor is adjusted to respond only to the C4 used by Fat Man. The composition of our C4 and that of Fat Man's seems to be slightly different. I think it may be the wax materials that he uses in his explosives. The old man probably concentrated the bulk of his time on making this modification. I see you're wearing the enemy field uniform. Looks pretty good on you.
Cut it out. It's bad enough that I'm dripping with sweat, wondering when somebody's gonna see through my disguise.
Don't worry, and quit being so sensitive. At least your walk won't give you away.
My walk? What do you mean, my walk?
Nothing. Forget I said it. I'd worry more about the fact that the uniform's a little small for your size. It just might come off when you bump into an enemy. Normally, a proper fitting uniform is issued to a soldier. You're just going to have to fit your movement to the uniform. Without the balaclava, you won't be able to disguise yourself as an enemy soldier anymore. But aside from the balaclava, you've got the exact same gear as they have, including those boots. Select the enemy field uniform in spots where you have to leave footprints. It'll keep them from spotting your presence. So, you've got an AKS-74U. If you wear an enemy's field outfit and carry an AK, you can pass for one of them. The AK is an outstanding rifle in terms of precision and reliability, as evidenced by widespread licensed manufacturing, not to mention large quantities of illegal reproductions. The AK is in high demand around the world. It is often used as reference for the design of new rifle models. Designs for Israel's Galil, Finland's Valmet, and other rifles are based on the basic structure of the AK. You have a smaller model of the AKS-74 that was designed for use by Special Forces personnel. The stock will only extend to a maximum length of 726 millimeters, a feature that makes the rifle easier to handle in small spaces. The AK can be fitted with a suppressor. With a suppressor, you won't have to worry about your gunshots being heard. Listen up, kid, and don't forget this. Only the guards in Shell 1's Corps are armed with AK rifles. The others are armed with the AN-94, the official rifle of the Russian army. If you hope to disguise yourself as the enemy, you don't want to be carrying an AK outside of Shell 1's Corps. Looks like you've got an M4. The M4 is an assault carbine favored by the US SOCOM. It's a descendant of the M1 carbine used in World War II. The 4 refers to the fact that it's the fourth carbine to be officially adopted by the American military. Basically, it was developed for the Special Forces using the M16A as a base. The M4 carries 30 rounds of 5.56mm by 45 SS-109s. By the way, carbines are short-barreled rifles originally developed for cavalry use, but as far as you're concerned, you won't need to remember that. The PSG-1 is an anti-terrorist automated sniper rifle. It features roller-locked action which allows a full, free-floating barrel. The end result is an automatic rifle with precision equal to that of a bolt-action sniper rifle. The rifle has a 5-round group capacity of 50 millimeters at a range of approximately 270 meters. In my opinion, the PSG-1 is one of the finest sniper rifles in the world. Although you've probably fired a few rounds in VR training, there are a few differences in handling the rifle you should be aware of. First, that the PSG-1 is equipped with a special magnification adjustable scope. For precision shooting, it allows you to zoom in on your target, and for wide-range viewing, all you have to do is zoom out. Another difference is that you aren't limited to firing from the prone position. In short, you can fire from a crouching or standing position. However, the less stable your position, the tougher it is to hold your aim steady. For accuracy, the best thing to do is crawl up to your target and fire from a prone position. The PSG-1T that you have there is a PSG-1 with a modified barrel for firing tranquilizer rounds. It handles like a PSG-1. The only difference is that it spares lives. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not. The hand grenade is an anti-personnel weapon that is manually delivered to a target. Put simply, you throw it. The blast itself and the resulting shrapnel takes out enemy targets. The grenade is charged with Composite B, an explosive composed of 40% TNT and 60% RDX. You press the weapon button to pull the pin and release the button to throw the grenade. Throwing distance varies with how hard you press the weapon button. After pulling the pin, you have about 5 seconds before the grenade explodes. Those 5 seconds combined with the throwing distance gives you a certain amount of tactical flexibility. You've got an RGB-6, a Croatian-manufactured 40mm 6-round grenade launcher. It's a weapon that was unavailable in VR training. The RGB-6 has a spring-driven revolver-type cylinder for handling 6 grenades. It delivers grenades with greater accuracy than throwing the things, and it's effective for taking out enemies with body armor, not to mention those hiding behind objects. Since a launched grenade travels on a parabolic trajectory, hitting a target depends on your angle of fire. The Stinger is a portable surface-to-air missile launcher. Once you lock onto a target and fire, the missile will automatically pursue the target using its infrared seeker. However, the Stinger you have hasn't been updated to deal with countermeasures. The missile's seeker might be thrown off course by flares. Don't forget that.
Right, do you actually enjoy abusing helpless animals?
The Directional Microphone is a very sensitive piece of equipment that picks up the slightest sound. It's a high-precision mic that's been designed to pick up sounds in front of it. In short, it will pick up sounds in the direction you point it. The microphone comes equipped with a miniature amplifier that will pick up a heartbeat if it's pointed properly at a living target. I see you've managed to get a hold of some C4 plastic explosive. Composed of 91% RDX and 9% inert plasticizers, it's a white clay-like material. It's a very stable explosive with over 1.3 times the power of TNT. Immune to heat or shock, C4 will only explode when triggered by a detonator. Since your wireless detonator is equipped with both a scrambler and encryption, you don't have to worry about the C4 being accidentally triggered by other wavelengths such as those emitted by jamming devices. You set the C4 with the weapon button and detonate it with the punch button. One other thing, don't get caught in its blast. You've got yourself a remote-controlled missile. Referred to as Nikita, it's a wireless guided projectile. It's a surveillance missile based on micro-air vehicle technology. You control it by watching the image transmitted from the CCD camera mounted on the missile. Although it's primarily designed for scouting missions, it carries a small explosive charge that allows a long-distance attack. You can also trigger the charge by removing it from equip status following the missile's launch. You won't be able to move while controlling the missile. Also, you'll have to be careful that you don't run out of fuel while it's in flight. Unlike VR training, you won't have a bird's eye view to help you control the missile. I see you're wearing body armor. That's a great way to minimize damage. Your body armor is interwoven with a special fiber made from high-performance polymer materials. The special fiber tangles around a bullet to cushion and spread out the impact to keep damage at a minimum. Bear in mind that the armor just reduces damage. It doesn't eliminate it. Those night vision goggles will let you see in the dark. The goggles are equipped with an image intensifier that amplifies even the lowest levels of light to produce clear images. Night vision devices were introduced in the 1940s. Since then, they've undergone several modifications to improve both sensitivity and resolution. Incidentally, the set you're using is a 4th generation model.
Why?
Olga asked me to give it to you. Besides, I'm not a big fan of blades. Move the right stick up and down to make a vertical slice, and left and right to slice parallel to the ground. Move the stick in a circle to do a rotating cut. Push it forward to lunge and strike. You can guard with your blade if you have the L1 button pressed down. You should be able to deflect a bullet or two. Click the right stick to get a stabbing strike. It has more reach and power than normal strikes, but you're also more open to counterattacks. Weigh the pros and cons well. Push the L1 button with the blade selected to block. With the L1 button pressed, you'll be able to deflect enemy gunfire. Be careful though, blocking works only for frontal attacks. Every time you push the weapon button, you can turn the blade from the blade side to the back. Using a back strike allows you to knock out the enemy without killing them.
My sword is a tool of justice.
Tengu soldiers carry the P90 personal defense weapon. It lies somewhere in between a rifle and a pistol. The designers of the P90 and its ammunition focused on the convenience of a pistol and the penetrating power of a rifle. It fires the new 5.7 by 28mm cartridge. The lightweight rounds feature a projectile weight of 2.02 grams and a muzzle velocity of 715 meters per second and low recoil. Its piercing power is also quite high. It can penetrate an ordinary bulletproof vest at a distance of 100 meters. The body is made entirely of plastic and perfectly symmetrical, so even left-handed shooters can easily use it. It carries a 50-round magazine. The magazine is mounted on top, so it doesn't get in the way when firing from a prone position. But the biggest threats are its rapid firing rate and its accuracy. It's probably best to avoid a full frontal assault. If you use the blade to defend yourself, you should be able to deflect even the attacks of the P90.
Right. Rose did a bit of research on Fortune's weapon.
The big rifle that she carries appears to be a personal railgun.
Railgun?
Yes, an electromagnetic gun that fires bullets with magnetic force. As a movable conductor, it uses plasma electrons to boost acceleration capabilities. The kinetic energy of the ammunition is approximately 10 megajoules. Incidentally, that of a 140mm smooth bore gun ammunition is 20 megajoules.
I can't believe something like that even exists.
It's not available, though. What she has is only a prototype.
That thing sure doesn't sound like a prototype.
Problems with the rail plasma and inner rail electromagnetic release have yet to be solved. Evaluations exist that criticize it as unacceptable as a field weapon because of the high risk of accidental discharge.
But hers doesn't?
Most likely, probably because she's lucky.
Unbelievable.
Either way, it's a weapon that she alone can wield, that's for sure.
Yeah, and a weapon that's uncontrollable, too.
Be very careful, Jack.
I'm under attack! Stay alert!
Here, take this. What you're wielding right now is a converted Beretta M92F, designed to fire tranquilizer rounds. A direct hit will knock the target unconscious. Think of those rounds as tiny syringes. The impact of the round causes the mixing of two chemicals in the shell. The resulting gas compresses a tiny piston and injects the tranquilizer in the bullet's tip into the target's skin. The tranquilizer's effects are felt at different times depending on where the bullet lands. A head or heart shot will take effect immediately. but a round that hits somewhere like feet or hands will take a while. Use the first-person view attack for maximum accuracy. The gun is fitted with a suppressor, so there's no need to worry about alerting the enemy with the noise. But since it is a tranquilizer gun, the M9 has its limitations. All it can do is knock the enemy unconscious. Keep that in mind. Snake, you have an empty magazine in your hand. Why are you still carrying that around? Select the magazine and throw it using the weapon button. The noise will draw enemy soldiers toward wherever the magazine lands. How strong you push the button determines how large a swing you take. Take aim using first-person view and try to land it where it will lure the enemy away. You've picked up gel bandages, I see. When you're bleeding, select the bandage as an equipment to stop the blood. The bandage is a type of alginate dressing. It's a highly absorbent pad that gels blood and other fluids on contact. It releases calcium ions during absorption, hence the coagulating effect. You have Pentazemin in your inventory. If you need to take some, select it in the item window and push the Enter button. Pentazemin is a mild tranquilizer used to treat clinical depression, obsessive-compulsive behavior, and anxiety. It belongs to the benzodiazepinate family, and along with its antidepressant and anti-anxiety qualities, it suppresses convulsions. Take it when you have a tough shot ahead with a sniper rifle, and you need to minimize shakiness. But I guess you don't have one of those yet. Well, you can also try some if you're feeling really seasick.
Otacon, I took the Pentazemin and you're right. The seasickness is gone.
Wow, really?
What do you mean, really? You said...
Drugs are mostly about placebo effect. If you believe it's effective, it is. You're more naive than I thought. So, you've got rations now. These are military food supplies and allow you to recover some life with use. If it is equipped in advance, the ration will automatically be used and life will be regained when you receive damage. You can select it in the window and push the confirmation button to use the item on the spot. Rations were designed to be carried and eaten on the field. They're all about functionality and calories. They use special freeze-drying methods developed by the NROC. They're compact, portable, and last for weeks. I'll explain how to use the camera. That digital camera you have was specially made to take pictures of the prototype Metal Gear. When a picture is taken, the screen data is first stored in the camera's internal memory. Then it's automatically processed through various algorithms to protect against tampering. Each picture is electronically stamped and distinctively encrypted. So in the off chance that someone alters the data during transmission, we'll know immediately. Oh, there's a limit to the internal memory's capacity. If the memory becomes full, overwrite the pictures you don't need anymore. When you're ready to take a shot, use the L1 and R1 buttons to scroll left or right among the picture previews at the bottom of the screen. Good. You're using the anti-personnel sensor, I see. It measures the electromagnetic fields and heartbeat of life forms and converts the data into vibrations. If an enemy draws near, it will vibrate. The stronger the vibration, the closer the enemy is. But remember, when using the anti-personnel sensor, you'll only be able to feel the vibrations coming from the sensor.
Freeze.
Snake, are you smoking? You really should quit. First of all, it turns you into an instant target in the dark. As for what it means to your health, I won't even go there. Remember what Naomi said about lung cancer rates? Everyone knows that it's a dangerous substance.
So's war, and I've done that all my life.
Well, you can screw up your own body if you like, but think about other people, okay?
This is the new kind that has almost no secondhand smoke. It won't bother anyone.
Oh, really? Didn't I see you toss the butt off the bridge? Littering, polluting. You have a long way to go, my friend. Hey, you have a chaff grenade. You can use that to interfere with enemy radio communications and electronic devices for a short time. The Chaff Grenade is a weapon that disperses aluminum foil or metal-coated glass and plastic fibers to confuse the enemy radar. What you have is a portable application of the chaff launchers built into fighter planes. When detonated, the grenade releases tiny chaff pieces as well as miniaturized active jammers using a small amount of explosives. The grenade can't create full-scale chaff corridors or chaff clouds, but will form a radar cross-section area large enough for single personnel use. This weapon is for electronic interference only, though. It has no effect on enemy personnel. Using the old cardboard box trick, huh? Looks good on you, Snake. Camouflage is the best way to slip past enemy surveillance. But cardboard is just paper when it comes down to it. It won't withstand any serious assault for long. Don't rely on the trick too many times either, and I recommend you keep it dry. Snake, that handgun of yours is a USP. The USP comes in a variety of calibers, from a 9mm to a .45. Yours is a 9mm with 15 rounds per magazine. It's also equipped with a flashlight for nighttime shooting. In the dark, select the USP and aim to turn on the light. Unlike the M9, the USP isn't suppressor equipped. The gunshots may bring enemy reinforcements running, so be careful. The stun grenade in your equipment is for incapacitating enemies without killing them. Stun grenades are non-lethal weapons that knock out enemy personnel with an intense flash of light and a burst of sound. Once the grenade is airborne, a timed detonator ejects an internal cartridge using a small amount of explosives. The cartridge then explodes and releases a flash rated at over 1,000,000 candle power, with an accompanying bang of over 200 decibels. The combinations of the flash and the bang temporarily overwhelms human sensory perceptions. There are no projectiles released, so it can only knock out enemies, not wound them. Keep that in mind.
Freeze.